Vigilance Awareness Week is being celebrated every year and coincides with the birthday of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, known to be a man of high integrity. Here, we have R. Vaidyanathan sir, the Superintendent of Central Taxes and Central Excise, Palakkad. On behalf of the Mercy College NSS units, sir, we wholeheartedly invite you to this session. And also, I invite our program officers and volunteers to this session. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Shall I start or anyone else is speaking?
No, sir. You can start.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Good evening. This is actually a 45-minute session or 1 hour session. I have been asked to...
Sir, we have 1 hour. It's okay, sir. Even if you take 45, we don't have an issue with the time. Actually, we planned it that way.
No problem. Thank you. Welcome. Good evening, all of you. This is the first time I am having an opportunity to at least virtually meet the students of Mercy College. I welcome you to this session on Vigilance Awareness Week. The week got over yesterday. Actually, from 27th of October to November 2nd, we observed the Vigilance Awareness Week. The topic of discussion has been rightly chosen now because, 1 second, it is very relevant today. It is very relevant today, and you are seeing, are you in the habit of watching the TV shows, discussions on political developments which are happening today? Or I'm sure you are all reading the daily newspapers also meticulously and going through the developments that are happening, especially in Kerala and some other states, right? Is anyone?
Yes, sir.
So, those who are following the daily news will come to know how relevant the topic of vigilance awareness is today. So, I really congratulate the NSS unit of Mercy College for selecting this topic in the most relevant time, the most relevant topic. And I also thank, let me at the outset express my sincere thanks to Priya ma'am for giving me this opportunity to talk to you. I also, the coordinators, Priya and Sunaina, they were also very meticulous about the thing to go on smoothly. They have been pursuing it, they have been following it up with me. I congratulate them. Anyway, before going to the session, full screen. I have a PowerPoint presentation. Okay. I have a PowerPoint presentation. Before going to the PowerPoint presentation, I would like to... 1 second. There is some small technical problem. I will just put the PowerPoint on... Present now. Hello. Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can. Yes.
There is a small technical problem here. Anyway, it is settled. We will go ahead and make it full screen. Okay, shall we proceed in English? No, enter. I'll do that.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Or in Malayalam. Combined, anyone who will not understand English, Malayalam? You are seeing camera or in mobile? All of it?
Most of us have mobiles, sir.
You are able to see the screen now?
Yes, it's possible.
Okay.
It's possible.
Okay, just switch on the fan. Yeah. Okay, now, sorry for the initial hiccup, right? Anyway, as I said, the topic what we discuss, we have picked up today is a very, very important topic. Considering the developments we are seeing every day in the day-to-day life of the common people. So we are seeing that, see, anyone who is actually, that's what my question was. Are you in the habit of watching the evening TV discussions? Malayalam TV discussions, especially Malayalam channels 8 to 9, lot of discussions take place about corruption charges being leveled against the ruling dispensation and also against the opposition, like that. Every day we are seeing charges being hurled against one another, charges of corruption of public personalities. That is not our topic, but our topic is related to that. We have, see, today we are seeing there is a discussion about the Life Mission project, the gold smuggling case which has happened recently in Kerala, and that is now in the headlines of Kerala. A lot of contemporary news items like that are there for everyday consumption. Since we are now encountering so many such problems, the topic of vigilance becomes very, very important. Vigilance and good governance are two sides of the same coin. Unless we understand these two, we cannot arrive at an appropriate solution. Actually, vigilance essentially concerns human souls, human resource. See, human behavior is unpredictable, as we all know. In a given situation, if there are 30 students in a class, 30 will react in 30 different ways. If one person does not join the webinar on time, and we tolerate that, that maybe we are just quietly tolerating that. Supposing there is a strict punctuality or discipline being enforced by the college, and one or two students don't turn up for the class in time, and the teacher does not say anything, then the others also may tend to follow that line. So there is a tendency, a human tendency, to not that as human beings we tend to be lax. That is a general this thing. There is a laxity or lethargy what we see in human beings. According as we progress in age, the percentage of laxity or lethargy or lack of concentration may increase. As students, you are all freshers, fresh in your minds. You are very bright and young. You can adapt to any situation, and this is the right time that you imbibe best qualities that will hold you good in your future life. So to be vigilant is one such quality which needs to be followed by each and every citizen of this country. Oxford Dictionary defines vigilance as keeping careful watch over the possible dangers and difficulties. So, over the possible dangers and difficulties, a careful watch should be kept. World Bank, you are all familiar with World Bank, defines corruption as use of public office for private gains. We are now observing, somebody was mentioning that we are observing the Vigilance Awareness Week every year, the last week of October. Why have we selected this last week? We all know that it coincides with the birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who was considered to be the Bismarck of India and a man of the greatest integrity India has ever seen. So every year, the Vigilance Awareness Week is being observed from 27th of October to 2nd of November. This is actually, this call for Vigilance Awareness Week is given by the Central Vigilance Commission, which is a statutory commission now, which was constituted in the year 1964 and became a statutory commission in 2003. From 1999 onwards, every year during the last week of October, the Vigilance Awareness Week is being observed by all the government offices and public sector undertakings, banks, insurance companies, etc., etc., etc. The general public, who are also the stakeholders in the day-to-day administration, they are also being made part of this Vigilance Day, Vigilance Awareness Week. Now, we have an integrity pledge for citizens also, similarly as we have it for the organizations, for employees working in different organizations. There are about 1,500 government offices under the Government of India. Central Vigilance Commission exercises control over the vigilance functions of all these departments. Central Vigilance Commission is, as I said earlier, it is a statutory body now. Till 2003, this was actually constituted in 1964 on the basis of K. Santanam Committee, which recommended that a body should be constituted for the purpose of enforcing certain vigilance measures over the functioning of the government departments. So that was later converted into statutory authority in 2003. The Vigilance Commission has its headquarters in New Delhi and has one Central Vigilance Commissioner and 2 Vigilance Commissioners. So it is a 3-member Vigilance Commission, 1 Central Vigilance Commission, 2 Vigilance Commissioners. The present CVC, that is the Central Vigilance Commissioner, is Sanjay Kothari, who took office on 25th of April 2020. The Vigilance Commissioners are appointed by the President of India on the recommendations of a committee consisting of Prime Minister, Union Home Minister, and Leader of the Opposition in Lok Sabha. Leader of the Opposition in Lok Sabha, the Home Minister, and the Prime Minister. So that is a 3-member committee which recommends the appointment of the Vigilance Commissioners to the President of India, and the President of India in turn gives appointment to the Vigilance Commissioners. If there is no Leader of Opposition, then the Leader of the single largest party, opposition party in the Lok Sabha, will be the member in the 3-member committee. The term of the Vigilance Commissioner or Central Vigilance Commissioner is 4 years or 65 years of age, whichever is earlier. So the Vigilance Commissioner is appointed by the President, and the Central Vigilance Commission is not under any of the departments of central government. It is an independent statutory authority. Actually, Central Vigilance Commission has got only hardly 300 employees. it has no adjudicatory role, it has only advisory role. It advises all the, as I mentioned, there are about 1,500 government organizations. It advises these organizations in the conduct of, in matters of vigilance. The Commission observes the Vigilance Awareness Week every year to promote transparency, integrity and accountability. So the theme is basically on transparency, integrity and accountability. Actually the purpose of observing this Vigilance Awareness Week is to create increased awareness among the public and to encourage the stakeholders to participate in the fight against corruption. Corruption, as long as human beings are there in this earth, corruption will be there. So we need to have some machinery to check the corruption. The corruption should not become such an evil that it takes away the entire spectrum of growth and it pushes the country into penury or distress. So there has to be a machinery which will keep a vigil, which will be a watchdog over the functioning of the departments. That is what the CVC does. And through the Vigilance Awareness campaign, the Commission organizes different public interactions and debates among students. It also conducts surprise inspections, poster competitions, essay writings, quiz competitions, painting competitions, workshops for employees, etc., etc. And we have also seen the Commission organizing or state governments organizing human chains to promote vigilance awareness. And banners are deployed, posters are displayed in many places. If you go to railway station, if you happen to visit petrol pumps, you would have seen posters about Vigilance Awareness Week being displayed there also. And in the Gram Sabhas and Gram Panchayats also, awareness programs are conducted, and I am very happy that Mercy College NSS unit is also organizing the webinar in connection with the Vigilance Awareness Week. It is really laudable. I congratulate again. The aim of the program is to motivate and sensitize the officers and staff, and also to make aware about the need to be vigilant among the stakeholders, that is the general public. So this is the introduction about the Central Vigilance Commission, and also the campaign mode of vigilance awareness being promoted by the Vigilance Commission every year. This year, every year the Commission brings out a theme to observe the Vigilance Awareness Week. Last year, integrity, a way of living, that was the last year's theme. And this year we have a theme, Satark Bharat, that is Samruddh Bharat. Satark Bharat, Samruddh Bharat, that is Vigilant India, Prosperous India. So the being vigilant is directly linked to achieving prosperity. If corrupt practices are allowed to rule the country, then the country will not attain the expected growth and we will not prosper. So that is why, after consultations with all the chief vigilance officers of the various departments, and also from inviting opinions about the topic, theme for the vigilance awareness, this Vigilant India, Prosperous India, that is Satark Bharat, Samruddh Bharat, was accepted as the theme for this year's Vigilance Awareness Program. The significance, as I mentioned in the beginning, as in the introductory speech, she was also mentioning, the Central Vigilance Commission believes that corruption is a major hindrance to the progress of the nation. So, progress of the nation is blocked, halted, hindered if corruption persists. So, all sections of society, that includes government officers, general public, stakeholders, businessmen, etc., etc., whosoever is a citizen of this country, they have to be vigilant in order to uphold integrity in all aspects of our national life. So, integrity should become an integral part of our behavior, our culture, our life. The Commission desires, the Central Vigilance Commission expects that all organizations focus on internal housekeeping activities. So these activities are to be taken up in campaign mode. You just log into different sites, you see Indian Oil Corporation, Hindustan Petroleum Corporation, Bharat Petroleum Corporation, different banks organizing different programs in connection with the Vigilance Awareness Week. So not only organizing these programs and creating awareness, this also emphasizes the need to fine-tune the internal systems of every organization. You have heard of direct benefit transfer of benefits, governmental scheme benefits to the beneficiaries, right? Anyone knows DBT? Hello? Hello?
Yes,
is anyone?
We can hear you. Okay.
Yeah. So, have you heard of DBT, direct benefit transfer? See, how will the government achieve zero corruption or minimum corruption in the governmental functioning? By systemic improvements, leveraging technology, and by fixing timelines for disposal of each item of work where the public interest is involved. Say, we have seen many projects, big projects getting delayed due to the lethargy of administration or decisions being taken very late. This results in costs being overrun. Yesterday, we have seen one news about one project of 2,500 crore which was perceived in 2003. Now the project is again taken up from the dustbin and being put into motion. That is, now the cost has increased threefold. It is about 7,600 crore. So like this, so many projects are getting delayed due to delay in decision making for various reasons. So, and if you happen to visit, see, I'll tell it in academic sense. If the results are delayed after the exams are conducted, since no timelines are usually kept for publication of the results, it creates a lot of anxiety in the minds of the students who appear for the exam. Sometimes some cutoff date will be there for appearing in some competitive examination. Had the results been released, published by the university before the cutoff date, you would have become eligible to appear for the competitive examination. If there is a delay in publication of the result, you may be deprived of the opportunity to appear for the exam. So that will really tell upon your career. So timelines are to be set for everything. So if you are applying for a caste certificate or what you call nativity certificate from the village office or panchayat office, if your application is unduly delayed for no reason, or at the whims and fancy of the person who is supposed to issue the certificate, it may affect your chances of applying for something or attaching that document along with the application which you may require for required to file for going for higher studies or for employment. So what you have to do, what can be done is by making systematic improvements, by fixing timelines and leveraging technology. So what you have to do is, now we are seeing that all village offices and panchayat offices are computerized. You don't have to go to the panchayat office to get a certificate. You can just go to the Akshaya Center, and from the Akshaya Center you apply. Within 3 days you get the certificate. If it is not issued within 3 days or 7 days, some of the certificates have even lesser timelines. It is deemed to have been issued to you. So there is no interface with the officer. Interface with the officer Interface means meetings with the officer. You may have to repeatedly visit a particular office to get a certificate, a ration card. If you are not getting the ration card, and that is treated as one of the most important documents of identity of your house existing or you yourselves are existing, it will become very difficult for you to get not only ration, for other benefits also this ration card is required. Now you don't have to go to the civil supplies department to apply for a ration card. You can go to the Akshaya center and apply. So this leveraging technology has happened over a period of time. And there is very less or very minimal interface with the authority from whom document is supposed to be issued. So that minimizes the scope for corruption. So like this, so digital platforms, we are talking about DBT, direct benefit transfer. Now this, we have seen the Tozhilorappu Paddhati, the Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. We have seen many people working. Say yes or no. Are you aware of this Tozhilorappu Paddhati?
Yes, sir.
You have to respond. Otherwise, I don't know whether you are all listening to me or doing something else. Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
So this direct benefit transfer, that is transferring the wages to the workers in their bank account without their need to visit the office from where the wages should be paid, is one technological advancement that has happened. You don't have to go to the office, automatically your wages will get transferred to your bank account. So direct benefit transfer is one such systemic improvement that has happened. So similarly, so many the Vigilance Commission also instructs the different departments. It issues advisories to different departments to adopt technology, adapt to changing needs, and systemically make systemic improvement to the organization's functions by inducting technological advancement at every level where there is scope for public interface. Payments to outsourced workers, say house allotments by the housing boards, updation and digitalization of assets including land records. All these are now done by technology, using technology, digital mode, thereby reducing interface. So when corruption is a thing which, as I said earlier, as long as human beings are there on this earth, human greed will always be there. So human greed cannot be it will not die. So you can only check the human greed. As long as you need to check, there has to be a vigilance machinery. So that is why the vigilance machinery keeps advising the organizations where the public stake is involved to you apply for a PSC post, you are the Public Service Commission or a Banking Service Commission, your exams are done online and then your results are published online. You can also see the progress of the your mark sheet, the key is released, then your mark sheet you can check whether you have answered according to the key, and you can also count. You can yourself arrive at the expected level of score. These are all technological advancements that have come, and thereby transparency is ensured. So when transparency is ensured, transparency in transactions, especially involving financial transactions, say allotment of seat to a graduation course. Now you have a single window application portal through which you have to apply, then the rank list is published, then you can opt for the institutions. The option list is also published. The course also you can opt, and you also have the data of the previous year's admission, and whereby you can make out whether there is a scope for admission to a particular course this year or not. All those information are now available on your fingertip. So fingertip that helps each and every citizen in one way or the other in getting the services from the government department and also from various departments and for various purposes. So the organization, the Central Vigilance Commission always advises the government departments to update the organization's website in the public domain with the requisite information about how to apply for a particular thing, how to get a particular thing, what are the formalities to be carried out, etc., etc. So the CVC disseminates information about systemic improvements that are required and good governance measures and initiatives that have to be taken by the each and every department. See, we are seeing the general public being duped by fraudsters, the bank accounts. See, you will be getting a call in your mobile phone if you register your mobile in this bank account. If you take that number, if you are having this phone banking, all your information will be copied and it can be accessed. Like that, we are seeing so many things happening. So there are people, as long as people are not vigilant, there will be people to cheat. So it is necessary that we remain vigilant, not only about our own activities, about what is happening around us, so that we can advise our relatives, our friends, you do this, don't do that, don't. So if someone is indulging in a corrupt practice, we can also tell him, forewarn him that doing this is not as per law. So we need to update our knowledge regarding the need to be vigilant, and we have to ensure that in case you want to make suggestions to any department, say university, keep informing your need to transform or make the procedures transparent. You can also make suggestions by student unions, NSS, similar union, your student unions can represent to the government and say that this is how the system should be fine-tuned so that it becomes more transparent and accessible to everyone alike, whether they are rich or poor. So there is an integrity pledge also as part of the Central Vigilance Commission's Vigilance Awareness Program. Integrity pledge, as I mentioned earlier, that is also for organization and also for each citizen. Integrity pledge is also circulated by the Commission, and we will take an integrity pledge at the end of the session. As citizens, you will also take the pledge, right? Okay. Okay. Hello.
Okay, sir.
So we have had history of cheating in our Puranas, right? Shakuni cheating and Yudhishthira in Mahabharata, and we have also seen Chandu being cheated, right? And Chandu ne chadichu konnu, le Udayalante kathakalilokke nammal kettittundu. Agane idupoleയുള്ള pala incidents. So there has been cheating, corruption, using corrupt practices everywhere. So corruption happens when the authority is given some discretion. He is given some discretion to exercise the power in the best way possible. But if the intention of the officer who is vested with the power of discretion is used in a different way than what it is supposed to serve, that tantamounts to corruption. Corruption, if mathematically constructed, it is said corruption is equal to discretion plus mystification. Mystification is lack of transparency minus accountability. So discretion means power to take decision, but deferring a decision under similar circumstances with different interpretation also happen, that is also corruption. Mystification is lack of transparency. So to avoid corruption to perpetuate, the tool of vigilance is used. Vigilance, vigilance is of three types: preventive vigilance, participative vigilance, and punitive vigilance. Preventive vigilance involves studying the organization, its policies and its people, and implementing effective measures so that these don't become this don't become vulnerable to corruption. Actually, participative vigilance involves participation of all stakeholders and well-wishers within the organization and from outside. For example, whistleblower policy. Anyone who has any information about some corrupt practice going in some organization, he can sound an alarm to the concerned authorities so that it can be rectified. You also have a Right to Information Act, whereby you can seek the information from a government department about how a decision is taken, what are the documents based on which a decision is taken. So this is all aimed at bringing in transparency in dealings. And the participative vigilance from general public is actually, it is voluntary in nature and it is not legally obligatory. We were mentioning about good governance. Good governance means making best possible policy decisions and implementing it in the most effective manner, whereby the maximum public will enjoy the benefit of a policy decision. So the main objective of any organization is actually growth, and this can be achieved not through machines or material, but through men, that is human resource. The organization actually grows at a faster speed when its employees are energetic and inspired. The management should not use such measures which results in creating an environment of pessimism. You terrorize the employees and then try to extract work from them. That may work for some time. See, any toughest principal may try to enforce discipline. For some time she may succeed, but a cajoling, coaxing, persuading, encouraging principle will be remembered forever in the college. The students will have very, very, very nice memories about that principle than a hardcore, toughest principal who is hell-bent on sticking on to very tough disciplinary norms. So similarly, a manager is actually, when you are dealing with human beings, manager does not deal with employees, but the minds of employees. So we have to understand the psychology of the people. When I was studying in school, the basic principle of our parents and teachers was spare the rod and spoil the child. Spare the rod, spoil. If you don't beat the child will get spoiled. So every second day we used to get a beating from the physics teacher or maths teacher for not doing homework. So that was the order of the day. Now the educational institutions have understood the teaching methodology. Teachers have also understood that. Parents have also understood that to inculcate creativity and to increase productivity of the students, it is better to encourage, to understand the problems of the students and try to solve it, so that instead of punishing them, so that children don't do wrong things. They desist from doing wrong things. So we must also remember, so long as I said earlier, there are human beings in this earth. On this earth, the human greed will persist. So there are certain underlying causes for human greed, and corruption is unlikely to be eliminated altogether. So vigilance needs to be formulated as a watchdog that prevents entering this greed in major areas of governance and reduce its scope. See, there may be students who are very bright, who are hardworking. They may actually burn the midnight oil to get the best out of the possible marks. But if there is a system of awarding marks through some other illicit means, will it not actually spoil the education, the atmosphere of the education? So that corrupt practice should not be encouraged. There should be some checks and balance to ensure that corruption does not become the order of the day, and the corruption or greed does not enter do not enter the major areas of governance and reduce the scope of growth. So the more than punitive measures, that is punishing methods, there should be participatory and also policy changes, preventive vigilance. That will be more helpful for being more actively vigilant. So punitive vigilance, it is not said that punitive vigilance altogether should be disbanded. It is required. Actually, when you are tolerating, as I said earlier, when somebody is coming late, you are not saying anything, the teacher does not say. Next day, instead of one boy, one student, 2 may follow, 3 may follow, like that, the entire class may follow, not being punctual. So the sin is not in action but in reaction. So it has to be wrong action of one employee or one student, and others tend to adopt that wrong path if it is tolerated. So punishment has to be given, and it should be exemplary. So when you are advising, be sure that you are going to be strict from tomorrow. You have to give 1 day or 2 days relaxation for reasons which are well explained. If the student is regularly coming late, it is the duty of the teacher to give some exemplary punishment so that others don't fall in line in that line. So the active intolerance is better instead of in place of having passive tolerance to wrongdoing. So there are threats to every organization, external as well as internal. As I said, in the banking organization, people from outside dupe the bank account holders, and dupe the bank in turn. The bank suffers losses. So it is necessary that periodical inspection takes place. Chanakya, you have heard of Chanakya, Arthashastra, who wrote Arthashastra. Chanakya has said that management must constantly fine-tune the system, hold periodical inspections, constantly hold inspection of its people, men being inconsistent in their minds. If you are placed in one place for a long time, why transfers are happening in government departments from one place to another every 3 years or 4 years? When you are there for a long time, you tend to become lax, number one. You tend to become easy, taking things easy and granted, and this laziness or easiness with which you do will definitely bring in some amount of influence from others that could lead to some corrupt practices being followed. So the human mind is very fickle. It is Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, it is very difficult to control mind. When Arjuna says, it is very difficult to control mind than to control wind. So with my arrow I can control the wind, but I am not able to control my mind. Arjuna cries before Lord Krishna. So similarly, every employee is a human being, and his mind is also very fickle. So every employee can get influenced by corruption if there is no fear of being watched by somebody. That watchfulness is being vigilant. That is the vigilance missionary's job. When someone is there to check, someone is there to oversee, to monitor what you are doing, then that missionary is the vigilance missionary. And unless that check is there, it is not a day-to-day check, but a periodical check, a surprise check, a periodical monitoring of what you are doing. You are being made accountable for your actions. If that is there, it will act in good stead and it will strengthen the organizations. See, we have seen parents going to the park and leaving the children, but still they will be watching the children moving up the ladder, climbing down, climbing up the trees. They'll always be watchful to avoid any untoward incident or accident. Similarly, at the organizational level, strict watch must be kept on activities of the personnel that ethical practices are adopted, ensuring integrity and honesty in the official transactions. So, if we remain vigilant as to what we think and we do in our personal and professional life, then only we can usher in a happy, peaceful, harmonious, ethical and transparent living for us as well as for the society. So it is our duty to fight corruption together and to contribute to nation building. Vigilance, we have already seen. This is the PPT and just brushing through. It is only a 5-minute presentation. We will stop at 5:45. Vigilance, we have already seen. It is keeping a watchful eye on the activities of the unit's personnel and taking prompt action to promote ethical practices to ensure integrity and honesty in the official transactions. Vigilance helps in the enhancing the image of the organization. See, when you are speeding up, you go to government office only once for one particular purpose and you are getting your things done. You will hold that office and officer in high esteem, promoting culture of honesty and integrity. It will also reduce wastages, leakages. We saw a project of 2,500 crore. Had it been implemented 15 years before, it would have benefited many people, public at large. Now, after 17 years, they are thinking of implementing that particular project for 3 times the cost which was originally envisaged. So it is wastage. Not only that, the utility was not fully achieved. And when you are fixing timelines, it will improve productivity. And when there is a vigilance machinery available, there will be accountability. It will ensure transparency. That is, it will be clean. You can see how the processes are evolved, how it is done, at what stage a paper moves, if that is transmitted, that is digitally put on record. If someone has applied for some certificate, where it is processed. So on a day-to-day basis in Andhra Pradesh, in Telangana, you have a system whereby when you are applying for a nativity certificate, you will know where exactly the paper is lying as of today. You can check in the site and see for yourself. So this will also protect honest performers, disciplining the wrongdoers, and striving for zero tolerance to corruption, which we mentioned earlier. So vigilance is essential everywhere. So we need to have focused attention on vigilance where high discretion is involved. We have seen the mathematical equation. Wherever discretion is there, there is scope for corruption. There is scope for jumping the line. Rules and procedures are, if it is complex, then there is scope for corruption. Accountability is low, there is no one to ask questions, then there is a scope for corruption. So delay in decision making is not in the right interest of the general public. So opportunities to negotiate exist and individuals are prone to corruption. So if the system is not robust, there is no transparency in the processes, in the procedures or rules, then the official who is handling the a particular item of work could tend to protract, he can delay the decision making and indulge in corrupt practices. This is what it says. So demanding or accepting gratification for an official act or influencing others, obtaining valuables without consideration, with inadequate consideration from someone in official dealing directly, indirectly. We saw iPhone being handed over by one accused to government officer yesterday. That was the news yesterday in today's newspaper. It is there. In Life Mission case, it was alleged, it is an allegation that the one government officer was also handed over one iPhone without any consideration. That is trying to exercise influence over the government official. Possession of assets disproportionate to income, misappropriation, forgery, cheating, etc., and other irregularities which can cast doubt on integrity. So, as we have already seen preventive vigilance is to modify the procedures, fine-tune the procedures so that it is transparent. So, periodically the procedures have to be, the rules have to be liberalized, it has to be made more transparent. The cumbersome procedures should not be enforced. It will create unnecessary harassment to general public and lead to corrupt practices. So now we are into what is complaint, receipt of information about corruption, malpractice or misconduct on the part of public servants on whatever source would be termed as complaint. This is what the Central Vigilance Commission says. So, source of complaint, as we have already seen, Right to Information Act, RTI is there, whereby you can seek information from different departments about how a decision has been arrived at, what are the documentary reports, etc. So, the whistleblowers, they are called people who information, they are informers about corrupt practices being followed by any government official or government department. They are whistleblowers. There is a Whistleblower Act also to protection to them. Departmental inspection report, periodical inspection of every department is carried out by senior officers to check whether any corrupt practices are being followed. And the controller and the auditor general conducts audits of audit inspections of various departments. We have seen 2G spectrum scam. Anyone who has gone through the system failures were pointed out by the C&AG, Comptroller and Auditor General of India. And the annual property return have to be filed by the government employees, so that can be checked. Complaints and allegations appearing in press, they can be treated as a source of complaint, and any identifiable source gives any information, that is also, and through intelligence agencies like CBI, local bodies, etc. We have seen the NCB, the Narcotics Control Bureau, CBI, Enforcement Directorate, which is all there in news today. So, misconduct also, commission of undesirable acts or omission of desirable acts. Omission of desirable acts. When an officer is supposed to behave in a particular way, he doesn't do so, that is also a misconduct. Deviant behavior against morals, accepted norms of society. Doing what is not expected to be done, or not doing what is expected. So this could, so that is also, you can say it is a corrupt practice when you are supposed to deliver something. So it is also when you are supposed to complete a particular business within the particular timeline and don't do it, then that can be treated as a misconduct. So, what is ethics? We should know what are morals and ethics. This we will stop. A set of moral principles, values, which governs the conduct of an organization or individual. There is an example given here. In a cricket match between India and Sri Lanka, Ranveer Singh delivered a no ball to avoid century of Sehwag, which was legally right but unethical. See, that was the last ball. If that was directly bowled to Sehwag, he would have hit a 6 or boundary or even 1 run, which would have got him a century. To avoid that, a no ball is bowled. So when that is done, it is unethical. We know what are morals. We have studied so many moral stories. So morals are the values based on one's own experiences, impressions, opinion, conclusion, belief and conviction, and customs also. So this morals have to be upheld, and the ethical values also have to be upheld in order to be transparent in one's dealing and ensure that the organization serves its purpose. So ethics and morals are essential for improved accountability, for better governance, for sustained economical growth of an organization, to enhance integrity and to minimize corruption. So we need all these ethical values to be imbibed in the day-to-day functioning of every organization. If this is not done, the system should be fine-tuned to ensure. So it should be, the procedure should be modified. The advancement of technology should be adapted in order to ensure that minimum hassles only are created. The procedures are simplified. Speedier delivery of justice can be ensured. So this ethics and morals should become an integral part of the functioning style of an organization, thereby ensuring transparency and probity and also accountability in the functioning of every organization. So this is the purpose the very purpose of creating an awareness about the need to be vigilant is to ensure that the citizens are aware of their rights and they can make the officials accountable, and they can seek better governance by being responsive, by being responsible citizens. Thereby, when see many things which are done in time, Mercy College admission see, had I studied better, I would have got. So thinking about past will not do good. You have to do what you are supposed to do now. You have to do now what you are supposed to do now. Being anxious about future will not give you, unnecessary anxiety about future will not give you any reward. And worrying about past has got no meaning, because time cannot be, you cannot put back the clock and again think of doing something which is the time which has already run off. So that is not possible. So what we can do is to, by being vigilant, by being more conscious about our duties and responsibilities, we can make the society, entire society, accountable for every one of their action, and ensure that the authorities are delivering justice, and we can seek better governance and ensure that projects are completed in time and the economic growth is achieved, and we achieve we are about 130 crore population. So we need to be prosperous enough to support all this 130 crore Indians, citizens of the country. So every citizen has to be vigilant, and for that we have to take the integrity pledge for citizens. I request all of you to switch on your mic and read loud, repeat what I read here. This is an integrity pledge for citizens circulated for the Vigilance Awareness Week of 2020. Okay, it is a small pledge. Please switch on your mics and follow me.
Okay, sir.
I believe that corruption has been one of the major obstacles to economic, political and social progress of our country. I believe that all stakeholders, such as government, citizens, and private sector, need to work together to eradicate corruption. I realize that every citizen should be vigilant and commit
and commitment
to highest standards of honesty and integrity. At all times. And support the fight against corruption. മെഡിക്കൽ കോളേജിലെ കുട്ടികൾക്ക് ആരോഗ്യമില്ലെന്ന് പറയും കേട്ടോ, എല്ലാവരും പറയണം കേട്ടോ. I therefore pledge. I'm able to listen to only one or two voices. To follow probity and rule of law. To follow rule of law and rule of law in all walks of life. In all walks of life. To neither take nor offer bribe. I pledge to perform all tasks in an honest and transparent manner. To act in public interest. To lead by example. Exhibiting integrity in personal behavior. To report any incident of corruption to the appropriate agency. Jai Hind. So we are coming to the close of this session. Thank you for patient listening. Okay.
Good evening to one and all. It's my privilege to have been asked to deliver a vote of thanks today. First of all, I express our sincere gratitude to Vaidyanathan sir for enlightening us with your knowledge and encouraging us to be vigilant and true. We are all inspired by your great words, sir. I also thank Haraki ma'am and Priya ma'am for organizing such an informative webinar session. Last but not least, I thank all the participants for extending their wholehearted cooperation. Once again, I want to state that we all are much grateful to Vaidyanathan sir on behalf of Mercy College and NSS. I thank you for being with us this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.